the effort to come here today. My name is, I'm going to pronounce it the correct way. It's Dege. But there are many funny people pronouncing it, so don't worry, just know me as Michael or Michael. I'm from the Charcoal Association of Namibia, formerly known as NCA, Namibia Charcoal Association. We unfortunately couldn't use the name NCA anymore because for all new enterprises, they're not allowed to use Namibia as the first word. It's reserved for government going forward. So that's why we had to change the name. So all we did, we put Namibia at the end. So it's still fine. Just first of all, if you look at this, we are not from the Khaza region, but it's very important to look at the value chain. Charcoal is just one of them. There are many different ones. There's biochar, which you can do in forest. You don't need to do it just in the where there's a lot of bush thickening taking place. So biochar is one. Then if you look at the trees, we need to start evaluating the tree, not just on the leaves and the things, but very often trees have a medicinal value. And we need to look at that as well. We from the Charcoal Association are very prone to look at diversification. You can't just take all the trees on the farm and chop them down. That's wrong. Also, the size of the tree is very important, depending on your permitting system that you have. But if you go back to the trees that you have in a specific area, usually people go for the biggest and the thickest trees, and that's the big shame that we still allow it today. I think there's something for forestry that they need to ban completely. It must be an extra special permit. The smaller the tree, the better value for charcoal. If you take a big tree and it's very heavy, people think I'm going to get heavy charcoal out of it, and that's wrong. Because there's a lot of moisture in that stem if you haven't let it dry for 3-4 months. So when you produce charcoal out of it, it becomes brittle and the value goes down. So what do people do on farms? They'll go for the big trees. With our training program, we teach them go small, thin. Because the thinner pipe comes out perfect. And that's how your end market wants to see it. They don't want to see fines and smaller pieces. They want to see a proper piece of charcoal coming out. So that's part of the value add. Coming back to diversification, we also encourage our farmers, don't just do charcoal or biochar, also do wood chips, do some other things on the farm, do your bush feed. We're going into an area where there's a drought again. So we support all these different facets where you can look at the bush, I can make a sustainable living out of it. So if we look at specific forests now, because remember, we don't see the bush as a forest. Internationally, they see it as a forest, we don't. We see it as something that we hate. But we should not hate it. We should see it as an opportunity to make money out of it. If we take something like a sickle bush, for example, scenario, when it comes to September, that's the first bush that gives green leaves, which are very rich in protein to your animals. So you cannot just take out all those, because most people don't like the sickle bush. They serve a purpose on the farm. So for us, it is we need to strike a balance of, let's say, I have all sorts of different types of trees on the farm. When we personally have a problem, if you go to monoculture, there's some areas in Namibia where they only have mellifera. That's bad. We need to get the melliferas out so that all the other trees can start growing again. So you need to look at, it's not just saying one size fits all. No, you need to know your land, you need to know your soil, you need to know the animals that live there. You need to understand it a little bit better so that you have a perfect balance in your whole ecology. Many farmers, especially in the Okakarala area, they all tell me they want to take out all big melliferas. I say, no, that's wrong. Because you do need them for shade. Where will the animals get shade if you take out all the big trees? Where do your snakes live? We do need snakes. We need all the animals. So taking out all the trees is wrong. But we need to thin out so that other species can start growing again, so that I can make more money off the felt that I'm having. And this is my message, is very, very clear. We must not leave all, we're taking out, we're creating a desert. No. In some instances, you have to take out more bush, and I'm calling my bush, not trees. Take out more bush so that trees can develop much better. And in other areas, you have to take out very little, with people taking out too much. I want to also refer to around the Toshapan. Last year, and forestry will know it, I don't see Mr. Otsuk here. He actually went to close down that community there. They were selling the roots of the mopani tree. They were digging out all the mopani trees there. Hardly any trees left there. That's bad. That's bad for the environment because we're destroying the ecology. Sometimes we have to be very persistent to take out a lot of trees. Sometimes we can't. So my message is know your environment, know what's growing, know, and also again I'm saying the soil type as well, because the soil type also determines what goes into the tree, all the nutrients that grow there. So that's my message. Thanks.